years, Denver7 and Scripps News have been tracking fentanyl deaths and poisonings of babies and young children to shine a light on trends that could save lives. Most recently, a Scripps News investigation exposed communication gaps in a system that is supposed to protect children. Thank you for sticking with us on Denver7 News at 6:30. I'm Jessica Porter.
I'm Shannon Ogden. And tonight, Colorado lawmakers react to that investigation and are taking action to address those gaps. National investigative reporter Lori Jane Gliha in the studio with an update to the series Poisoned: Fentanyl's Child Victims. Good to see you.
Good to see you guys. Yeah, late last year, we exposed important details in the deaths of 2 Colorado children who were killed by fentanyl. In both cases, police did not communicate with child welfare workers about potential risks for the children until it was too late. So we decided to take what we found through investigative reporting to lawmakers at the Colorado Capitol to see what they think should be done about this communication gap. And they already have ideas on both sides of the aisle.
A Colorado Republican state senator.
You know, what you reported on, I think, indicates we do need to have more communication.
And a Democrat state representative.
Especially having seen your story, I think it's critical that we take a look and see what is missing in the breakdown in that communication.
Both reacting to a national Scripps News investigation exposing communication gaps in the deaths of 2 Colorado toddlers, both from fentanyl, in 2 separate incidents.
Looks like we got one unconscious female. Okay. We do have a child in the back of the seat.
Okay.
In each case Scripps News brought to light, the children's parents had a drug-related run-in with police with their child present months before each child died. But police in each case never alerted child welfare workers that the children might be in danger. It's important to note these deaths happened a few years ago, but some details of the incidents didn't become public until 2024. That's when Scripps News obtained several videos and records revealing what happened.
She's not breathing. She has a pulse. Let's get her in and we'll start bagging.
This is video from the first case in Aurora, when first responders revived a mom with the opioid reversal antidote Narcan after she passed out behind the wheel with her baby in the car.
Come over here for me, okay?
And this is video from the other separate case miles away, when police pulled over that baby's father while he had the child in the car and arrested him for drug and child abuse charges. In both situations, police failed to follow their own department's protocol to alert child welfare workers. Meanwhile, the children were later exposed to drugs in their homes. We obtained this video showing drug use around one of the children just hours before she died. Our investigation found there is not a specific statewide requirement that calls for Colorado police officers to report child abuse and neglect cases to Child Protective Services, according to the State Office of the Attorney General, though many individual departments do have policies that require this. Colorado state lawmakers say the communication gap needs to close.
And the breakdown here is the communication between the police and Child Protective Services or an agency that can help the children.
So should there be something that requires the police then to make sure that they're also reporting to child welfare?
Yeah, and I don't think that's as hard to get done as it may seem.
Certainly, if there's legislation or work we need to do to improve that communication, I would want to take a look at that.
The governor of Colorado, Jared Polis, also responded to our investigation. His office gave us this written statement, which reads in part, Governor Polis is disheartened by these stories and committed to ensuring that law enforcement properly notifies and coordinates with state agencies to ensure the safety of all Colorado children. Governor Polis is open to ideas that keep our kids safe and prevent this type of communication breakdown from occurring again. Beyond Colorado, our Scripps News investigation found similar communication gaps. In Louisiana, police conducted a drug raid at a home weeks before 2-year-old Mitchell Robinson was poisoned by fentanyl and died. But child welfare workers had no record of being contacted by law enforcement, according to a state investigation. For those who are unable to speak for themselves, like the children in Colorado, many people in power are now speaking up on their behalf, looking for ways to improve a system that is supposed to protect them.
And one of the involved police agencies did tell us it has conducted an audit and training to address communication breakdowns in child abuse cases. The other department said an officer was disciplined in connection with its case.
Good to see there was some accountability there. But did the parents ever face charges for what happened to their children? I mean, those children died.
Yes, in the Brighton case, prosecutors said there was a drug dealing operation that happened at that house. So both of those parents got decades in prison. In the Aurora case, the mom got probation with a suspended sentence, which means she has prison time hanging over her head if that doesn't go according to plan. And we have been looking in nationally at the disparity in how some of these cases are handled and sentenced and prosecuted, and that's going to be in a future story that we do.
So what was child welfare's response when they found out that they weren't being notified by the cops?
Right, well, communication issues is not a new issue for this department, for the State Department of Child Welfare. We had been looking at some of the annual reports that had been done by the Child Fatality Reporting Team, and over the course of a decade, repeatedly did they talk about improving communication between agencies. So we did ask them, what are they going to be doing? They talked about developing a work group, but as of today, that work group, they're still in the planning phases, and that has not
So
met.
they know this is a documented problem. Did lawmakers that you spoke with seem receptive to the idea of creating some kind of legislation to bridge the gap here and solve this?
Yeah, you know what? I actually reached out to every single lawmaker who sat on the Judiciary Committee and the Health and Human Services Committee on both the Senate and the representative side. 3 people agreed to go on camera, and I will say they are interested in doing more research about this. Some have talked about, should there be more policies, or should there be more research on, are these policies being followed appropriately, or does there need to be something like legislation for this? It's something that they want to continue to look into, and I know that they're very interested in coming up with some solutions.
All right, Lori Jane Gliha, wonderful reporting and important reporting. Thanks for your work on this.
Thank you, appreciate it.